Doctor Strange with Sorcerer of Supreme Good is an S tier support hero. Sorcerer of Supreme Good makes it easier for the whole team to generate heroism. Hello guys, Genuine here of Genuine Gaming, and here is my Doctor Strange build at max difficulty or ultimate difficulty, and I call this build the Sorcerer of Supreme Good. Overview. Doctor Strange's passive ability is called Greater Good. It gives Doctor Strange a certain amount of chance to generate heroism per turn. And if you're a veteran player, you know that it is very important to have a good stack of heroism points. Heroism points would allow you to play powerful cards, which could change the tides of battle to your favor. This build capitalizes the idea that Doctor Strange is good at generating heroism. This build is not a damage-dealing hero, but primarily a support character. This is a support character that is good at generating heroism points so that his allies could use more often their powerful abilities. Although this build also has some damage capabilities, I made this build so that other heroes who are good at dealing damage could capitalize what they are good at, that is, damaging enemies. That is why this build is a good teammate for those heroes who need a lot of heroism points to deal damage like the Hulk, Ghost Rider, and Iron Man. Here are the cards with mods in this build. 2 cards of Winds of Watoomb modded with Draw a Card or Draw a Card if KO'd. I always like to mod my quick cards with drawing a card. The idea of modding my quick cards with drawing a card is that as quick cards refunds my card plays, draw cards replenishes cards in my hands. If I would draw another quick card, that would lengthen my card plays all the more. Although Winds of Watoomb cannot deal a good amount of damage, this card is pretty good at clearing out minions in the battlefield. And if you have at least 3 points of heroism, Winds of Watoomb gains a forceful knockback, which is great for an enhancement. 2 cards of Agamotto's Gaze modded with additional heroism gained when used. Whether +1 or +2, it does not really matter because if you try to look at it, the highest heroic card requirement Doctor Strange has is 3 heroism points. I usually use this card not just to regain any attack card, but to regain 2 quick attack cards. That is why I use this card before my last card play so that I still have time to use these 2 quick attack cards. Aside from regaining 2 attack cards, Agamotto's Gaze also gives an additional bonus to damage. And the best thing about this card is that in the next turn, you are going to have 4 card plays, which is insane. Agamotto's Gaze may only be a common card, but I consider this ability as an S tier. 2 cards of Astral Meditation modded with on Redraw gain an additional heroism. This is another powerful card of Doctor Strange. It may seem not that powerful at first glance, but if you try to think about it, it restores 2 combat items used in the mission. And combat items in Midnight Suns are powerful resources, especially if you're playing in the max difficulty or Ultimate 3. And another good thing about combat items is that they do not use a card play. They are always free to use. So if you have 2 cards of Astral Meditation in your hand, you can use some of your combat items twice without recrafting it at the Abyss Forge. This card may not be used all the time, since this card is exhausted after use. You use this card when it counts the most, like after you already used 2 combat items during combat. This is the reason why this card is modded with on Redraw +1 heroism, so that if you do not have any plans of using this card, you still gain heroism by redrawing this card. 1 card of Crimson Bands of Cyttorak modded with free. Bands of Cyttorak applies a bind and vulnerable to an enemy. Binds makes an enemy unable to act. What makes bind better than stun is that bind is not removed with damage. This also applies vulnerable to the target. Vulnerable status increases damage by 50%. Crimson Bands of Cyttorak prevents the enemy from attacking during their turn. And for the bosses, it limits their attack to only 1. 1 card of 7 Sons of Cinnibus. I do not suggest to mod Legendary as it would take a lot of resources, but if you want, you can increase its damage by 50%. You can also use Axe of Angarumus modded with Quick in exchange for this card. This set of cards is also a good build even if not modded when playing at max difficulty. But of course, it is easier to play this build when modded. Doctor Strange with Sorcerer of Supreme Good is an S tier support hero. Sorcerer of Supreme Good makes it easier for the whole team to generate heroism. Remember that heroism is an invaluable resource in combat as it allows you to play powerful cards. I hope you like this build, and do not forget to leave a like if this video is helpful. And for more Midnight Suns video, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Ciao!